by Comcast. Great to have you with us on a beautiful day and a very special day here at the ballpark. The starting pitchers today, Dave Bush for Milwaukee, Randy Wells for the Cubs. Randy Bush as he becomes assistant general manager. As we look at the month-to-month splits for Randy Wells, and Bob trying to finish strong. How about that? An ERA that hasn't gotten over 3.69 any month this season.
And that's really a better indicator of the kind of year Randy Wells has had rather than the wins and losses, because we all know that he's had at least 3 or 4 ball games when he's pitched well enough to win, but he either hasn't gotten the defensive or offensive support to come out on the winning end.
And here's Dave, don't call me Randy Bush. Been an injury-plagued season for the veteran right-hander. A couple of really bad starts off the DL, but the last 2 have been really good.
Yeah, especially the last one. Probably his best start in a long time. Went 7 innings, gave up 5 hits and 1 run, punched out 11, didn't walk a batter against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
So the starting pitcher for the Brewers taking his final warm-up tosses in the bullpen as we look ahead to the final 2.5 weeks of the Cubs season. Big road trip coming up starting tomorrow night in St. Louis. It's a 10-gamer. Then the Cubs return home to finish up the season with 7, 4 against the Pirates, 3 against Arizona. And last night, Colorado had a 4-0 lead going to the bottom of the 9th in San Francisco. The Giants scored 3 times and I believe had the tying run at third when the Rockies eventually got out of it. So that hurts the Cubs, who are 6.5 behind after losing 9-5 last night.
Now, once again, we've talked about it many times over the last week or so. Obviously, you need some things to happen with the 4 teams ahead of you in that wild card race. You need the wins and losses to fall just so. But the Cubs need to take care of their own business on a daily basis in order to make anything happen.
And before we get started here today, Rich Harden, who went just 3 innings last night, is going to have his next start skip. Tom Gorzolani will go on Monday in Milwaukee, and then the Cubs will adjust after that. It's already being reported by Paul Sullivan from the Chicago Tribune that the Cubs are planning on shutting down Harden for the rest of the year, but we have not heard anything along those lines from the Cubs yet. Now the Brewers starting lineup against Randy Wells. A lot of lefties in their lineup. You have the switch hitter Lopez. Jody Garrett bats left-handed. Braun right-handed, but in left with 101 RBIs. Prince Fielder at first. Mike Cameron at center. Matt Gamble, left-handed swinging third baseman. Rivera catches for Kendall. Big night for the rookie Escobar last night, and Dave Bush does the pitching.
And let's check out how the Cubs take the field defensively behind Randy Wells. Brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, refresh everything. Fox, Fukudome, Bradley across the outfield. Jeff Baker getting the nod at third base today. Aramis Ramirez had a lot of diving attempts down there last night. This was, however, a scheduled day off for him. Terrio will be at short. Fontenot at second. Derek Lee over at first base. Coy Hill doing the catching today for right-hander Randy Wells. Unlike Dave Bush, Randy Wells coming off one of his worst outings of the season. Went only 3 2/3, gave up 6 hits, 5 runs. 3 of those were earned against the Cincinnati Reds. Looking to finish off what has been a really strong rookie campaign.
Check out the umpires. Brian Knight, who's from Montana. They'll call the balls and strikes. Hunter Wendelstedt. See, we have a smaller font. Fit his name there. Dana DeMuth and Doug Eddings. We adjust.
Yes, we do. We're good at that.
It looked like 12-point Helvetica. That's me. Felipe Lopez takes ball 1. We are underway. Wind blowing in again today. 66 degrees and the wind at 9 miles an hour out of the east. You look at the whole homestand. I can't think of a better one weather-wise. We've barely seen clouds over the last week.
Only took 5.5 months to get to some baseball weather,
well,
but we're glad it's here.
We deserved it. That's ball 4. So Wells does something the starting pitcher wants to do, and that's walk the leadoff man. And now he has to work from the stretch against Jody Garrett. Even though the Cubs have a stock bullpen, you know, Lou and Larry would like a long outing from Randy Wells to stop this trend here, as Zambrano knocked out after 5, Harden after 3 over the last couple of nights. Missed again, 2-0 on Garrett. One thing the Cubs pitchers have done is keep the ball in the ballpark. Over the last 5 games, they haven't allowed any. Randy Wells, very rare to see him question a call by an umpire, but he was asking Brian Knight where that pitch was. He said it was outside.
I'll tell you what, Len, in this series, and this is not a complaint, this is not whining, it's just a statement of fact. An umpiring crew will take on the personality and somewhat the strike zone of their crew chief. Dana DeMuth is the crew chief working second base today, but we've seen a tight strike zone this entire series.
And Larry Rothschild out about as early as you'll ever see after 2 batters to start the game. And he's trying to keep Randy focused. And normally that's not an issue.
That hasn't been an issue with Randy Wells all season. That has been one of his strengths, his ability to maintain his focus and keep looking to the next pitch rather than dwell on the pitch before.
So 9 pitches and only 1 strike. And now he has to face Braun and Fielder. And he's coming off a short outing on Saturday against the Reds. Here's a pitch to Braun, base hit left field, and the bases are loaded for Prince Fielder. We have a do-over here. We go back about 4 minutes.
How about a mulligan? Yeah. Man. I mean, those first 2 walks to start the inning, even though Randy Wells was questioning a couple of the borderline pitches, you have to establish that you're going to throw strikes before you get the benefit of the doubt on a borderline pitch. And so far, Randy has not done that.
Well, and he has to do something very few pitchers have done this season against Prince Fielder. And when they have, they've been burned, and that is be very aggressive. And the first pitch strike. 126 knocked in for Fielder, 1 behind the major league leader Albert Pujols, who's off today. Cardinals are idle. Fielder's played every game for Milwaukee, and he started in that cleanup spot. That is a nice luxury to have for a manager.
And he loves these particular situations. You see his career numbers with the bases loaded. This year he's 8 for 16 with the bases loaded.
And he should have 2 grand slams, but Reed Johnson took one of them away in Milwaukee earlier this season. Reed's still on the disabled list, coming back from the broken bone in his foot. Fielder, believe it or not, without an RBI in the series, but he's in a pretty good position here with the bases loaded, and he bounces it foul, 2-2.
Well, so far the Cubs pitching staff has done a nice job of staying away from Prince's happy zone, which is up and out over the plate where he can extend those big arms. I mean, he can pull pitches on the outside corner back to right center field. He has that kind of plate coverage, that kind of strength.
Back-to-back walks and then a single by Braun, and the Brewers, I guess you would say, have something brewing. They're foul, still 2-2.
Trying to stay right in on the hands of big Prince fielder, take away some of that sting. Slider down and in. Prince rolls over, pulls the foul down that first base line. We'll do it again.
Wells gets his sign from Coy Hill. His next pitch is inside, 3-2.
Tried to come back with that same cutter, maybe a little baby slider down and in just off the plate. This time fielder able to lay off to run the count to full.
Wells has not allowed an earned run against Milwaukee in 3 appearances in his career, including 1 start, which was his season debut in the majors back in Milwaukee on May 8th. Big 3-2 swing and a miss. Like a changeup. That's a big first out.
That is a monster first out from our Southwest Skycam. A gutsy call by Coy Hill. He even gutsier pitch by Randy Wells, throwing a changeup to big Prince fielder on the full count. Now you're 1 ground ball away from getting out of this inning.
Mike Cameron is 1 for 11 in the series with 2 RBIs. Playing center as always, and a called strike. High fly ball out into left center. Fukudome getting behind it. Lopez on his way to the plate. He'll score as the throw goes to third. 2 outs in the inning, and Milwaukee gets the first run today. It's 1-0 on a sacrifice fly.
Yeah, Wells caught a little bit more plate than he wanted right there. Was trying to go away with another one of those cutters on the outside corner, but left it over the middle of the plate for Cameron to loft into center field. Fukudome, with no play at the plate, wisely just fires it back into third.
And rookie third baseman Matt Gamble is getting his first start since July 19th. He was called back up from AAA on the 8th of September. That's going to be foul. So hasn't started since he was up here the first time around for a couple of months, from mid-May to mid-July.
Now, based on that first swing, a 91-mile-an-hour fastball that was pulled way foul down the right field line. I think Gamble's going to see some changeups in this sequence somewhere.
Breaks his bat as he pops it up. Jeff Baker will make the catch, and all in all, you have to feel okay about how that inning went. Bases loaded, no outs. They only got 1. Cubs coming up. Everything. Terrio at one point reached in 9 straight plate appearances over the last 2 days. Fukudome lead. Jake Fox cleaning up in left. Bradley, Baker, Fontenot has been good lately. And the battery is Hill and Wells.
Take a look at the Brew Crew defensively. Braun, Cameron, and Garrett across the outfield today. Gamble at third base. Escobar has put on quite a show in this series. In 25 ball games, he's made 4 errors, but he gets to a lot of balls that other shortstops do not. Lopez at second base. Fielder over at first. Mike Rivera doing the catching today for right-hander Dave Bush. Sinker, cutter, curveball, slider, changeup, the full assortment of pitches. Basically relies on a well-spotted fastball and a hard slider to the right-handed hitters. He'll mix in some curveballs and changeups to the lefties.
He'll turn 30 in November. He's from Pittsburgh. 6'2", 204 pounds. Product of Wake Forest. So Demon Deacon against a Tiger, a LSU Tiger. And Terrio greets him with a base hit. So he's now reached base in 10 of his last 11 plate appearances.
Terrio has really shortened up his swing. He's getting the bat into the hitting zone as quickly as possible, spraying line drives all over the field.
A big hole on the right side. And we'll see if Lou has some action here to try to get Fukudome going. He's 0 for 21 since the Cubs came home from Pittsburgh. Outside corner, strike one. Kick in the pitch. Similar spot, but that one missed. And it's a ball and a strike. Cubs have been really good against their own division. The best record within the division against their own. 9-2 over their last 11 and 43-26 against the Central. So the unbalanced schedule is actually played in the Cubs' favor. Problem is they're under 500 against everybody else, the East, the West, and the American League. Bunted by Fukudome, and Gamble would not have had a play even if he had fielded it cleanly. That'll be a bunt single for Fukudome, his first hit in a while.
Heads up play by Kosuke Fukudome. He took a peek and saw Matt Gamble playing extremely deep and over toward the hole between third and short, and dropped an absolutely perfect bunt down at third baseline.
So both starters battling some adversity right off the bat. Randy Wells gave up one after the bases were loaded with no outs. And Dave Bush has to face Derek Lee with 2 on and no outs. Derek was way out in front of a curveball at 67 miles an hour and fouled it off. Terrio runs. No throw. Fukudome did not run from first. So Terrio caught the Brewers by surprise. Picks up his 20th stolen base.
A perfect 7 for 7 against the Milwaukee Brewers this year. Ryan Terrio stealing bases. And Rivera's had some issues behind the plate this year. 17 stolen bases in 21 attempts when he's been behind the plate. You can see Rivera was going to throw to second base. It's not uncommon with a right-handed pull hitter at the plate to concede that run at third, but try to throw to the tail runner. but Fukudome did not go.
Terrio is going to score as Derek will not get an RBI on a 5-4-3 double play, but the game is tied at 1 apiece.
But good to see the ball club bounce back and get that run back for Randy Wells, a guy who's been so good this season and has lacked the run support necessary to have the stellar 1-loss record. Gave up 1 in the first. His team gets it right back in the bottom of the inning.
And the catalyst, Ryan Terrio, singling, stealing third eventually, and then scoring. 0-1 to Jake Fox. Comes in with 10 home runs. Bush ready. Pretty compact wind up. Swing and a miss. That's a pitch Jake has seen a lot. After the scouting report got around, a lot of breaking balls.
Yeah, it's kind of the natural progression when a hitter gets to the major leagues. The first thing you do is see if he can handle a big league heater. We know Jake Fox can hit a fastball. He's seen a lot of breaking pitches.
There's another one in a tapper, and Gamble's going to barehand it and drop that one. That should be a hit as well. Matt Gamble needs some stickum on his right hand.
I'll tell you, a good third baseman make that play look extremely easy. It's not that easy. Running full speed straight in, try to scoop that ball and throw all in one motion. So many things can go wrong, and Gamble's had problems with a couple of them here in the first.
And a tough homestand for Bradley. 1 for 19. And he just got hit by a pitch. Second time he's been hit in the series. Keeps the inning alive for Jeff Baker.
Talk about how Jake Fox has seen a lot of breaking balls lately. Milton Bradley's seen a lot of pitches off that inside part of the plate as a left-handed hitter, and that one catches him on the outside of the right calf.
Inside to Baker. 1 ball, no strikes. He's cooled off a little bit. On Tuesday, couple of hits, couple of runs off the bench late. A snap an 0 for 12 to start the homestand. Good slide and blocked by Rivera.
Some interesting numbers for Dave Bush, depending on who's behind the plate for him. When veteran Jason Kendall's been behind the plate, that's been 8 starts for Dave Bush this year. He struck out 32 and walked only 2 batters. When Mike Rivera's behind the dish, which has been 12 starts this year, 46 strikeouts, 29 walks. Which tells me perhaps Jason Kendall a little more aggressive in urging his pitcher to throw strikes, use all his pitches in the strike zone. Rivera may be trying to pitch his pitcher away from contact.
Well, no walks over his last 2 outings and 14 strikeouts. He's been able to get deep into the game. Hasn't allowed a homer since June 20th. Again, spent a couple of months on the DL, actually more than 2 months, with a triceps injury. Fontenot on deck, including today, just 18 games left 10 are going to be on the road. That'll get down in right center. The Cubs are going to take the lead. Fox is going to score easily. Bradley on his way to third. It's 2-1 on Jeff Baker's RBI single.
Jeff Baker going to the opposite field, pulled his hands in close, kind of an inside-out swing. It's that little humpback liner into shallow right center field to take the lead. Look at the Cajun connection against the Brew Crew this year. Actually, that's career numbers, I stand corrected. This season, the numbers are even more spectacular. Terrio, a .378 hitter this season. That went up with his base hit to lead off the Cubs' bottom half of the inning. And Mike Fontenot, a .333 hitter against the Brewers.
Mike with the sunglasses even at the plate. A 1-0 count and a 2-1 Cubs lead. Aaron Miles has no idea there's some bubble gum on his cap. There, it's a green jellyfish or something. So get on a play down the left field line. 2-1 to Fontenot. I did notice a couple of days ago, Cubs seemed, and I don't know if it really translates into how the team plays. I think it's the reverse. Everybody seemed a little bit looser, a little more relaxed, having more fun around the batting cage. Because winning is fun. And they've started September by winning 10 of 15.
You hear players talk about it all the time, not only on the Cubs, but all around Major League Baseball. We just want to have some fun. We want to have some fun, but you're absolutely right. The way you have fun is to win ball games, play solid fundamental baseball, and start to do it consistently. That's when the game becomes fun and you can enjoy yourself a little more in the clubhouse and during batting practice and on the plane flights.
Swing and a miss to end the inning. But a good one for the Cubs. 4 hits, a hit batter, 2 runs, and they lead 2-1. The 25th annual Cubs convention will take place at the Hilton Chicago on January 15th, 16th, and 17th, 2010. Rooms are available now by calling the Hilton Chicago at 312-922-4400 and asking for the Cubs convention rate. Weekend passes will go on sale in early November. For more information, visit Cubs.com. And for the music fans out there, we are planning on our 4th annual Len and Bob Bash for Cubs charities on the 14th. We'll have more information hopefully soon. Mike Rivera in the hole, 0-2. Boy, Rivera wanted to get hit by that pitch. He kind of leaned into it. Figured that'd be a cheap way to get on base down in the count, 0-2. Look at that. He didn't try to get out of the way. Fernando Vina did.
Yes. There's a real art form to that. Some guys, it's a big part of their offensive arsenal. Lean your upper body away from the baseball, but stick your knee right out in the middle of the strike zone.
Swing and a miss. Much better start to this inning for Randy Wells than the first. And among the scouts watching this game today is Mike Anderson, sitting next to Vince Vaughn. Mike to the right of Vince Vaughn. He is a scout currently with the Texas Rangers, but a former pitching coach in the Cubs organization. And when Randy Wells made the conversion from catcher to pitcher, I guess about 6 years ago, Mike Anderson was his pitching coach. And he remembered as a player back in the Reds organization, he was with Trevor Hoffman and Jim Lett, who was now Double-A with the Brewers organization. He remembered how Jim Lett worked with Trevor Hoffman, who converted from shortstop to pitcher. And so he kind of followed a similar program. And Bob, today is the first day Mike has seen Randy Wells pitch in person in the major leagues. And I guess Randy at one point told Mike, if I get to the big leagues, I'm going to buy you an Escalade. So I don't know if he's going to come through on that or not. But maybe Randy will say, hey, you got to sit next to Vince Vaughn. That's good enough.
Had a chance to eat lunch with Mike Anderson today before the ball game, and he was talking about Randy Wells and saying a lot of the same things that we've said about Randy. His demeanor, his preparation, his body language and poise out there on the mound. It was apparent even from the start that this was a guy that was taking his new craft very, very seriously.
The 3-2 to Escobar, hit hard, and it's caught by Terrio. Good to keep Escobar off the bases.
There's no better place for Cub fans to hold an event than Harry Carey's Italian Steakhouse in Chicago, Rosemont, or Lombard, or Harry Carey's Tavern in Wrigleyville. Call 773-HOLY-COW or visit harrycareys.com to plan your event today.
One other connection, Mike Anderson is the brother of the outstanding TV play-by-play voice of the Brewers, Brian Anderson. Bush hits it foul down the right field line. 0-2 on him as Wells looks for a 1-2-3 second after a tough first. There's a tavern right across the street. Go to Sheffield and Addison, you'll find Harry Carey's. Swing and a miss, and they do go 1-2-3. It's 2-1 Cubs. You can find the same great content from Len and Bob's blog at chicagonow.com/Len and Bob, as well as WGNTV.com. On the blog today, I have a post on the wonderful ceremonies today for the Medal of Honor recipients. You can see Steve Goodman sing a dying Cub fan's last request. And if you missed it last night, Richard Dreyfuss sang the stretch as well. Game notes from Stats Inc. Much, much more. WGNTV.com or ChicagoNow.com. Coy Hill leading off the home second, with the Cubs leading 2-1. We will be joined by Al Lynch, one of the Medal of Honor recipients. It's from Chicago. It's coming up here shortly. And they're all in the batter's eye. Pretty good view of the pitcher and catcher. Straightaway center, right above the juniper bushes. A fly ball to right. Jody Garrett with a routine catch. A lot of servicemen and women here in the ballpark as well. Just an incredible moment here at Wrigley Field. I think all the players and coaches and managers were touched as they were able to meet the Medal of Honor recipients just before the game. Wells pops it up. This will be Escobar for the second out. A couple of interesting numbers here. There is an estimated 42 million men and women who have served the United States in the armed forces since the Civil War. I guess December of 1861 is when the Medal of Honor was first established. Of the 42 million, only 3,447 individuals have been awarded with this medal. There are fewer than 100 living recipients, and we had over half of them here today. It is the nation's highest military award presented for valor in combat, and as you can imagine, that award has been presented posthumously many, many times. Just reading some of the stories about what some of these individuals have done to be honored in this way is pretty incredible. We'll hear one of those stories coming up with Chicago native Al Lynch, who served as a specialist 4th class U.S. Army Company D, 1st Battalion Air Mobile, 12th Cavalry, 1st Cavalry Division Air Mobile in Vietnam. Two and two to Ryan Terry, who got it started in the first inning. The Cubs scored a couple of runs to grab the lead. Lopez with a beat on it, makes a catch, and that's a quick 1-2-3 for Bush in the second. Cubs 2, Brewers 1. Cubs 2, Brewers 1, as we play the third inning here at Wrigley Field. It is an honor to have with us Al Lynch, Chicago native, one of the Medal of Honor recipients here today at Wrigley Field, in the booth with us. Thank you so much for everything you've done for this great country, and it is so great to have you here today.
That's great to be here. What's
it like to be here with so many other Medal of Honor recipients, and have you had an opportunity to be together a lot in the past?
We get together about once a year now. It used to be once every other year, but as our numbers started getting fewer.
Good effort by Jake Fox. That's a single for Lopez. Continue.
As our numbers got fewer, we started meeting once a year, and so it's great. You know, it's a time to get together and renew old acquaintances and see some of the friends we haven't seen in quite a while, because we're living all over the country.
When you do get together, what is the topic of conversation in general? I mean, do you talk about your experiences, or is it about more of what's going on now?
Well, amongst ourselves, it's more of what's going on now. You know, what's with the kids, now the grandkids, and how's life treating you? What's going on in your life, and that. It's we do some military stuff occasionally, but that's more with people that we end up meeting.
Jody Garrett at the plate, 1-0 the count. Cubs lead 2-1 here in the third. Wells fires it across to Derek Lee, a Vietnam veteran, and just reading about your story, and you're a hero. I mean, there's no question about that, and I don't know how comfortable you are talking about some of the experiences you went through in Vietnam, but it's very inspirational, to say the least.
You know, it's one of those things I've done, talked at a lot of schools and such, but it just depends. You know, it just depends on the venue and all of that. So I've talked about it before, and
they got him.
Yeah, I mean,
and a Cub fan too. We like that. As Lopez has an argument with Hunter Wendelstedt, but Coy Hill picked him off. That's a second pickoff for Coy this season.
And Coy kind of did it the hard way. He stepped over in that right-handed batter's box before firing that pickoff attempt down there. Usually you go behind that left-handed hitter to give yourself some cover. And the argument continues. Lopez still down there beefing with Hunter Wendelstedt. Ken Maka, the manager, has come out to try to separate them. Lopez with a little bluff towards second, maybe just a little lackadaisical getting back to the bag, tries to slide to the outside. He's out. It's a good call.
So a big first out, especially with a 2-0 count on Garrett, and Ryan Braun on deck. The pitch fouled back. So basically, you saved the lives of some of the soldiers in Vietnam, and I guess one of the questions I would ask is, what was your relationship with, as there's a bouncer to second, with those soldiers later on after Vietnam, and how did that work?
Well, they were in another platoon, so I didn't know them.
Okay.
So when we got back to the rear, they went one way and I went another way, and I actually had a telephone conversation with one of the guys about probably about 10 years ago now, who looked me up, and we had a little bit of a conversation. We emailed back and forth for a little bit. He lost his arm during the action, and he's working in rehabilitation now. He's helping other people that have lost limbs.
What a wonderful ceremony before the game. Both teams out in front of their respective dugouts. Lots of handshakes. And the flyover as well. What was that like being out on the field today?
That's just awesome. That's just, you know, to meet the players and meet some of the guys I've been screaming at on TV occasionally was a lot of fun, and I wish them well and told them to please win today for me.
By the way, 3 Black Hawk helicopters from the Illinois Army National Guard provided the flyover this afternoon. Pretty interesting story here. You were being followed by a policeman. After you got back, you thought you were getting a ticket, and you were handed a note with a telephone number, and you called and you found out you were receiving the Medal of Honor.
Yeah, it was the day before I was getting married, and there's an S-curve in Dalton, and I took it before I went to Vietnam, and I was taking it on my last night of, shall we say, freedom. And you know, it was just kind of a tradition. I went to Vietnam, I took the curve, I thought, well, I'm getting married, it's a big change in my life, I'm going to take it again. And I did, and there was a police officer following me, and I went into, but he never turned on his lights. So I just thought, I'm just going to be good and go the speed limit and even a little under. And I get home, and he follows me into my driveway, and he says, gets out, and he says, call this number. After he asked me who I was and my name and all of that stuff. So I did, and I got some colonel who told me I was going to be awarded the Medal of Honor.
Wow. And how did that make you feel?
I was nervous enough, but this was really stressful. It was, I mean, you're getting married, you know.
Right. Right.
So it's
a lot of emotions.
Yeah, a lot of emotions and a big change. I completely forgot they had put me in for it. So it was it made a little stressful there for a while.
And you were presented the award by President Nixon,
yes.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
They will intentionally walk Prince Fielder after the Braun double. Again, we're here with Al Lynch from Chicago, Vietnam veteran, served in the U.S. Army, and a Medal of Honor recipient. One of the many being honored today. Here's ball 4 to Fielder.
Well, we have a moment. It's time to have a ball with our friends at the Illinois Lottery. One of the more special ceremonies we've had here at Wrigley Field, certainly in our tenure, Len. Having the Medal of Honor winners here, the flyover, the big flag unfurled in center field. Just a special, special day for all involved. And it is indeed a pleasure for us to have Al up here in the booth with us and to have all the winners on the field before the ball game meeting the players. Mega Millions can find you every Tuesday and Friday. Mega Millions, have fun responsibly.
Well, if we can get you to turn just a little more, we'll get a good look
Sure.
at the medal. That's lined and caught by Terrio. Again, I can't thank you enough and tell you what an honor it is to have you here, and thanks so much for everything you've done for the United States.
Thank you very much.
Bob's famous phrases.
And go Cubs.
And go Cubs. Bottom of the third. Cubs leading 2-1. It's such an inspiration to meet the Medal of Honor winners. Think about all the small moments of anxiety and stress in your life. Talking to one of the Medal of Honor recipients, he says, nobody's shooting at me these days. I'm stress free, and it's really puts things in perspective.
Well, he didn't go into a lot of detail about the stories that we know about Mr. Lynch, but to say the least, he threw himself in harm's way to save guys he didn't even know. Well, they say that's the definition of a hero, somebody who's afraid to run away from trouble.
2-2 to Fukudome. That's pulled foul. Well, December of '67, Lynch's company was in the Bong Sun area of the Central Highlands. They had been in almost daily contact with the enemy for a while. And then in mid-December, he was ordered to the rear for rest and recuperation. But another company, as he mentioned, in the battalion was ambushed. It was a swing and a miss by Kosuke. That's the second strikeout for Bush. And the next morning, Lynch's unit got together and was inserted during an air assault against a large force of North Vietnamese regulars. He eventually saw some wounded soldiers in the open. They were under intense fire. Dropped his radio, and despite heavy enemy fire, got to the men, carried them one by one to a trench to protect them. Derek Lee clubs it to deep center. Cameron back took a look back. He's going to have room on the warning track. So this story taken from Medal of Honor Portraits of Valor Beyond the Call of Duty. Del Calzo and Collier. So I appreciate that story, and again, just awe-inspiring. 2 down. Fox singled and scored. It was an infield single back in the first, and later came around on the Baker RBI hit. A fly to Cameron, who's going to battle the sun and make the play. Cubs go down in order for the second straight inning. It's still 2-1 Cubs. 2-1 Cubs. Little delay. I think the ball got onto the warning track, so Kosuke sent it back up into the bleachers, and we're ready to go.
Throw it back. Works both ways.
It does. Matt Gamble pops it into shallow center. Who's going to get it? Fontenot on the slide. Nicely done.
Tough sun for those guys in the middle of the field right now. The two middle infielders in the center field are really battling. We saw Mike Cameron had some problems with that last out of the bottom half of the inning, and Mike Fontenot picks up Kosuke in center field, who obviously didn't have a good beat on that ball. Nice diving, sliding catch by Mike Fontenot.
We like the sun. Some outfielders don't on a day like this. Ball 1 to Mike Rivera. By the way, since I borrowed heavily from the book, thought I would mention it. The Medal of Honor Portraits of Valor Beyond the Call of Duty by Peter Collier and Nick Del Calzo. So if you're interested in finding out more about the Medal of Honor and some of the amazing stories, forward by President George H.W. Bush. We also have a link to a website on our blog talking about the Medal of Honor.
Cub fans, don't forget to visit the WGN Sports Game Zone at WGNTV.com. Brought to you by The Great Escape for up-to-the-minute stats and information designed to give you everything you need to know during the game. The WGN Sports Game Zone is available for every Cubs game and is brought to you by The Great Escape. Pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more.
Escobar shows bunt, takes ball 1. Big group from the Knights of Columbus from Granger, Indiana are here. The Knights of Columbus count so 42-63, 57 strong. And a nice letter from Joe Stakowitz, who is the chairman of the event that's been going on for the past decade. Great to have them here. (2-1) Escobar's a called strike. He had 4 hits last night, some dazzling defense, and he's back in the lineup today. J.J. Hardy was scheduled to get the start today, but Ken Maka didn't have much of a choice but to put Escobar right back in there. First career 4-hit game, knocked in 3. Guy's ready to go. You need a pinch hitter. Do you think he's been sitting there, Bob, since 1978?
Possibly so, yeah. He looks like it. Put me in, coach. The old powder blue pinstripes.
Ball 4. That'll bring up Bush with 2 outs and a man on. Follow your team on your iPhone and iPod Touch with MLB.com at Bat 2009, featuring play-by-play video highlights and live audio broadcasts. Visit Cubs.com on your iPhone or iPod Touch to purchase.
You mentioned J.J. Hardy a moment ago, Len. It'd be interesting to see if and where he fits in with this Brewers team next year, as Dave Bush lines one into left field for a base hit. 2 men on with 2 out. I mean, Hardy had hit 50 home runs and 61 doubles and driven in over 150 runs the last 2 years for the Brewers, and appears to have lost his shortstop job.
And kind of a weird situation. He was demoted in August to the minors, brought back on September 1st. He spent 20 days in the minors, and that actually had an effect on his major league service time. Hardy now has an extra year of arbitration before he's eligible for free agency after 2011. And as you can imagine, Hardy wasn't thrilled about that part of it when his agent told him. A little kick foul, as Derek, I think, tried to get to it before it went foul because he had a play on Lopez. Now, Doug Melvin, their GM, understood why Hardy might have been upset about it, but he also said, hey, we stuck with him earlier in the year when, maybe even earlier in his career when he continued to struggle. And I agree with you. I think they might have to look to move Hardy elsewhere, and I think he still views himself as a shortstop. So if that's the case, elsewhere might mean not another position, but another team. I think there will be interest in J.J. Hardy if in fact that happens. And you know the weird thing about it? The arbitration or the free agency issue, pushing it back a year, actually might make him more tradable. I think the team out there might be more willing to get a guy who they can control for that extra year, which in the end could actually help Hardy get a starting job somewhere else.
Well, he's always been a very sure-handed, very accurate throwing shortstop. The last couple of years, as I mentioned, showed flashes of power. Yeah, the one thing that's really lacking in his game is foot speed. He's not a great base stealer, base runner, but everything else is there.
Wells trying to get out of a 2-out jam here. It all started with the 8-hitter when he walked Escobar, and then Bush singled. It's 2-1 on Lopez. Make it 3-1. Sure, Randy will have a lot of friends and family who want to come to Busch Stadium this weekend. He will not be pitching in that set. It's from nearby Belleville, not too far from St. Louis. Ball 4 to bring up Garrett with the bases loaded. He's walked 5 today. And that looks to be a new career high. 5 walks. Swing and a miss. Good changeup.
That seems to be his go-to pitch today when he gets in those jams, when he has trouble finding the strike zone with that tailing, sinking fastball. He goes to the straight change. Good first pitch there to Jody Garrett, who was looking to jump on the first fastball that he saw.
Each team with 4 hits, but the Cubs lead at the moment 2-1. Good fastball, caught the outside edge. It's one that could go either way, and he wasn't getting it early. A fly ball deep to right, a lot of trouble, gone. A grand slam for Jody Garrett, and a rally that started with 2 outs at the bottom of the order, and now Milwaukee leads 5-2.
Very little doubt about that one. They try to come in with a fastball. Stays over the inner part of the plate. Garrett is a real good low fastball hitter, and he proves it right here. Golfed that ball out of here into the bleachers to right.
Second career grand slam for Jody Garrett. Number 4 for Milwaukee this season. And just like that, they lead the game by 3. Obviously, the grand slam is a big blow in the inning, but I guarantee you, Randy's most upset about walking Escobar. And then you give up the single to Bush. And you walk Lopez. I mean, that's how things certainly balloon. But boy, the bottom of the order, that's where you got to get those big outs. It's a first homer allowed by a Cubs pitcher in the last 6 games. And the last 3 Cubs starters have all allowed at least 5 runs. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the inning is over. But Jody Garrett hits the big grand slam to give Milwaukee a 3-run lead. A vendor, then check for the Cubs win sticker under the bottle for your chance to win an overnight stay at the Abbey Resort and Avani Spa on Lake Geneva at Fontana, Wisconsin. Make sure to buy from your Pepsi vendor for your chance to win with Pepsi and the Abbey Resort. Some work to do for the Cubs offense, trailing by 3 runs as Milton Bradley pops it up back of short. Escobar clinches.
The 2009 Chicago Cubs baseball season on WGN is brought to you by Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
Those guys could use a nice cold beverage. A Bud Light when they get off work today. Jeff Baker comes from a military family. Father Larry was in the Army, played baseball there, worked for the Air Defense Division of the Army for 22 years as he deposits one into right for a 1-out single. He's 2 out of 2. Time now to check out our high-def shot of the game, sponsored by Comcast. Uh-oh, look who's here. Bernie Brewer and the Sausages from Milwaukee.
What kind of vehicle they arrived here at the ballpark in? You can see they have trouble making it through doorways. It had to be some kind of a double-decker bus so they could get their big old potato heads down the road from Milwaukee.
Cubs baseball in high definition is sponsored by Comcast. Fontenot rolls it back up the middle. Base hit. 6-game hitting streak for Mike. Maybe they should have a race down Waveland today. A nice crowd would gather around maybe after the game.
I think that'll race back to Milwaukee after the ball game. I'm going to go ahead and get a head start.
Oh, he's already hitchhiking. See, he's got his thumb in the air. Would you pick up one of the Sausages? Take him to Milwaukee?
I'd pull over him. Just about the time he got to the rear bumper, I'd just keep edging forward. Let him chase me for a few miles.
Fouled back by Hill.
Now, I've been known to stop for a sausage or two between here and Milwaukee, but not to give one a ride.
Right. Was it the Brat stop?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and 2 to Coy Hill. Coming down for that Bud Light. Maybe a hot dog from the ballpark or something.
Just get me down. I don't care what's to eat when I get on the ground. Just get me down.
Just trying to get back into it. Down 3 with 2 on, and Hill takes a called third. He knew it. And Michael Hoffpower is going to bat for Randy Wells. Another short outing by Wells, and the 3rd straight by a Cubs starter. To make an excuse for Randy Wells, but of course whenever you say that, you're pretty much making an excuse. But I think at the end of the year, Bob, for a rookie like Randy Wells, there's been a lot of innings this year, and the Cubs have kept a very close watch on his innings. We've seen a couple of outings where he's been just a little bit off here late, and I think the command issues could be about maybe a little fatigue creeping in.
Just not as fine with his command as we saw him in the early and middle part of this season.
So we'll see Sean Marshall next. Thankfully, the Cubs have the expanded bullpen with the big roster here in September. They had to use it a lot. Throw to second. Baker back in time. Dennis Miller will conduct the 7th inning stretch a little bit later.
I tell you, Len, I felt pretty good about Randy Wells taking the mound today because it's the last game of the series, and as we well know, he's one of the most observant pitchers that the Cubs have. He sits in that third base dugout, watches the Brewers take batting practice every day. I'm sure he was watching intently the first 3 games of this series, and probably in his mind had a real good game plan against these Brewers hitters today. Unfortunately, he physically was just not able to execute it. But I think in the future, times when Randy finds himself in that last game of the series, that's really going to work to his advantage.
3-1 to Hoffpauir. Only one other game going on right now as Kansas City's beating up on first place Detroit over in the AL Central. 8-2 in the top of the 8th. Wonderful ceremony last night as longtime Tiger broadcaster, now retired, Ernie Harwell was honored at Comerica Park. Ernie's 91 and recently revealed he has inoperable cancer, and again we send our best wishes to Ernie. And his wife Lulu, I think he's going to be honored at the Detroit Lions game this weekend as well. A full count on Hoffpauir. Runners take off, and that's down the right field line, and it's fair. Chance to get a couple here. Goes all the way to the wall. They'll easily get 2. Hoffpauir is going to hold it second with a 2-run double, and it's 5-4.
Like a Hoffpauir tomahawking a high fastball down into that right field corner past Jody Garrett all the way to the vines. That'll clear the bases. Okay, we don't usually talk about Ryan Theriot in terms of being protection for somebody in the lineup, but we gave you the numbers earlier for his career against the Brewers and hitting nearly 400 this season against Milwaukee. That probably got Micah Hoffpauir that fastball he was able to drive down into the right field corner.
Foul by Theriot. Tying run is in scoring position. Bush coming back on an 0-1 swing and a miss. Mid-60s curveball. That's a real art form, isn't it, to throw that pitch that slow. He gets swings and misses. We just don't see that many of those types of breaking balls anymore. See a lot of hard sliders. I think the speed has something to do with it. You throw too many of them, you hang one, and get hit a long way. Because it breaks so much, it's hard to throw that pitch for a strike.
We've seen some hard curveballs in the mid to upper 70s, but yeah, those guys that take a lot off that breaking pitch, make the break even bigger. It's a great off-speed pitch.
And Sean Marshall has a slow curve, but his is about 74, 75. That's crushed deep to left. Braun back on the track, reaches up, makes a nice catch as he bangs into the wall as Theriot gave it a ride, but for an out. They get 2 on the Hoffpauir double. It's 5-4 Milwaukee. New pitcher for the Cubs is tall left-hander Sean Marshall.
Saw Sean in the ball game last night. A couple of scoreless innings, gave up only 2 base hits in his 2 innings of work. Looking to put the clamps on this Brewers offense and give his offense a chance to take the lead in this ball game.
Woo. He's trying to take out some frustration. It's been a slow series for him. He struck out in the first inning with the bases loaded. And he crushes that one into the gap. Bradley can't get it. Goes all the way to the wall. Fielder's going to try for 3. Relay throw's going to be late. The belly flop slide for Fielder. His 3rd triple of the season. I got to tell you, Bob, I don't like seeing an opposing player do that, but to see Prince Fielder run that far, I think he had an inside the park home run a year or 2 ago. When he gets moving, he can move.
Well, poor line to the ball that time by Milton Bradley, way too shallow. Fielder even stumbled a little bit around first base. Watch out. We're going to need a backhoe to fill in that ditch. That's a lot of man hitting the ground over there at third.
Nice play by Baker. He's going to keep Fielder at third as Cameron grounds out. Now time for the 5th inning, brought to you by Subway. Hey, Chicagoland viewers, how would you like to win 5 $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete info and rules. Gamble went according to Doug Eddings at third. I really think Prince Fielder's baggy uniform has to hold him back a little bit on the bases.
It's not very aerodynamic.
No.
I mean, we saw last night after the Brewers victory, those of you who have seen any Brewers games recently, they have a thing they do where all the players rip their shirt tails out as they celebrate on the field after the game, and his shirt tails literally came down past his knees. That is a lot of uniform. Doubles as an infield tarp if it rains.
Well, he needs 1 RBI to set their single season franchise record. He has already tied the walk record. Gamble strikes out. So Marshall with a chance to get out of this thing. While we have a moment, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Mike Rivera with 2 outs, and Fielder, who led off the inning with a triple, still at third base. Aaron Heilman is up in the pen. He has a win in this series. It was Tuesday night. Eight hits for the Cubs, 5 for Milwaukee, but the big one, a grand slam by Jody Garrett in the 4th inning. Actually, it's 6 hits for the Brewers, 7 for the Cubs. We stole a hit away from Milwaukee and gave it to the Cubs.
Sleight of hand.
Swing and a miss. Marshall gets out of it. Leadoff triple, but no runs. Bottom 5, 5-4 Milwaukee. This afternoon. Dave Bush trying to get through 5 and qualify for the win. Lifted in the air, but it's going to be caught by Cameron. Let's check out who's moving forward with Toyota. Derek Lee has been moving forward all season long, and he's now been nominated for the Hank Aaron Award. Best offensive player in each league. Aramis Ramirez won it last year. You can go to Cubs.com or MLB.com to cast your vote. 20 of his 33 homers and 66 of his RBIs have come here. Thanks to Toyota. That's today's Toyota moving forward.
Derek Lee's answered the questions about whether he could still hit for power. Nagging questions last year about the wrist injury and the residual effect. Was he ever going to regain the same kind of power he had earlier in his career? Well, yes, he will.
He's been great. Flying deep to the warning track in his last at bat. Skies to right this time. Garrett over and ends up having to slide to make the catch as that ball was slicing away from him. The wind was also pushing the ball away from him.
A lot of side English on that ball down into the right field corner. Kept slicing further and further away from Jody Garrett. The wind kept knocking it down more and more. He eventually has to slide over near the foul line to make the catch.
101-year-old Elsie Morozek from Naperville. She turns 102 on Christmas, is here today with daughter Jean and granddaughter Andrea Casper. It's Kaspar. Great to have them here. LC Rosek. Also had the honor of meeting a couple of other Medal of Honor winners before the game on the field. Tom Norris and Mike Thornton, who were Navy SEALs, and Jay Vargas, who served in the Marine Corps. Some amazing stories. Mike Thornton actually rescued his lieutenant, Tom Norris, Vietnam. It was believed that Norris was dead, but Thornton returned under a hail of fire, found him unconscious but alive, disposed of 2 enemy soldiers in the area, slung Norris over his shoulder, took him 400 yards of open beach, and they survived. And they both won the Medal of Honor. 5-4 Milwaukee after 5.
There's still time to check out the Bud Light concert series. The Fruit Bats will be playing Schubas this Sunday and Monday, brought to you by Bud Light. Tickets are available exclusively at schubas.com. That's the Fruit Bats this Sunday and Monday, brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, the difference is drinkability.
Was that an owl we saw?
Closest thing we could find to a fruit bat here in the ballpark.
Right. Was it a fake owl? Aaron Heilman on here in the 6th. 0-2 to Escobar.
Rudy Hoop. I believe the hope is that that will be a pigeon deterrent.
Okay.
Not sure about the effectiveness, but worth a try.
No, didn't work. Fox in left for the out. Tickets are still available for Cubs games this season. Final homestand coming up after we get back from San Francisco, including bleacher seats are still available. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. Pirates and Diamondbacks will be here the final week of the season. That will be September 29th through October 4th. Including a day-night doubleheader on Wednesday the 30th. Dave Bush with a big hit. Keep that fourth inning alive, and eventually Jody Garrett hit the go-ahead grand slam. Bush old school without any batting gloves. Takes a good slider for strike three. Two down. It's Lopez, who's reached all three times. A couple of walks and a single, and has scored twice. Acquired earlier this season in July from Arizona. He has scored 5 runs in the series. Foul tip, 1-2. Ernest Hemingway look like. Or did Richard Dreyfuss grow out his beard and gain a little weight? Swing and a miss, strike three.
Wouldn't be surprised.
They go down in order. Bottom 6. Cubs trail by 1. Let's check out today's Honda Accord game. A summary. Visit your Honda dealer. Test drive a 2009 Honda Accord. Big grand slam by Garrett. That was in the 4th inning. Michael Hoffpauir, though, getting the Cubs within 1 with a pinch hit 2-run double. 1 strike to Milton Bradley as we play the last of the 6th in a 5-4 Milwaukee lead. Happy 60th wedding anniversary to Ruth and Ralph Gusserson. Their 60th. They're from Antioch, Illinois. And they are here at the game. Base hit right field for Bradley. Step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. So Bradley with only his second hit on the homestand. Here's Baker. And somebody was yelling, I believe, from the Cubs dugout. That's to get a pinch runner, maybe, for Milton Bradley. Is that what's going on here?
Now remember, he did get clipped in the right calf. His first at bat of this ball game. Ended up going first to third later in that inning and really labored between second and third base. Maybe that calf starting to tighten up on him.
So it'll be Bobby Scales. Who represents a tying run. See, Jeff Baker is now 4 for his last 4. After going 0 for 12 to begin the homestand. Come on, guys, eyes on the field. Maybe they're watching the sausage race. That's golfed down the left field line, and it's going to be foul right off the ledge. Well, that one Cub fan, the guy in the gray T-shirt, I don't even know if he saw that. Ball almost hit him.
Ball was hitting like a rocket down that left field line. It's too bad it went foul. I believe Bobby Scales would have had a real good chance to tie this ball game up all the way from first base.
Well, he was watching. Bounced right in front of him. The Cubs faded blue T-shirt. They won't be able to turn 2. Gamble will get the out at first. He's had to charge a few balls today. That one he did not barehand and was able to get Baker.
This ball hit a little bit harder to the left side than his 2 earlier attempts in the ball game. So he gloves with the leather, fires across for the out at first base. Serves the same purpose as a sac bunt, moving Bobby Scales into scoring position.
Rivera and Bush will talk it over. I want to send out get well wishes to big Cubs fan, young Darren Zimmerman. He's been dealing with a lot of health issues, and Darren, thinking about you. Hope you're feeling better. Got the curve over for a strike. Tom Gorzolani is up. Again, it looks like he's going to take Rich Harden's next turn in the rotation. They try to freshen up Harden. And it has been reported by Paul Sullivan from the Tribune that the Cubs are going to shut down Harden for the rest of the season. See, Roy Oswalt's been shut down by the Astros. Back and hip problems, so he's going to miss the final couple of weeks. Two and one. Command issues, heavy pitch counts. Just haven't seen the same Rich Harden the last couple of times out that we're used to seeing. Throw to second. Scales able to get his hand back in. And the reality is, Bob, if in fact Rich does not throw another pitch this season, it is altogether possible. Last night was his last game as a Cub. Well, one thing you can always count on, even when you win the World Series, is a team that you end the season with is not going to be the same team you start next spring training with. There will be changes.
Now, some of those guys you say goodbye to in the clubhouse after the last game, in some instances, that's the last time you're going to see them, at least as a teammate.
Ball 4 to Fontenot. So first walk of the day for Dave Bush.
I'll tell you, Lenny, it's so odd in this game of baseball. I talked about Ryan Theriot and Mike Fontenot earlier in the game, how well they've done against the Brewers throughout their careers and this season. Even though Theriot's had kind of an up and down year and Fontenot has struggled for the most part this season, but if you ask Chris Bosio on his way out there to the mound, who are two guys in this Cubs lineup you don't want to see at the plate with runners in scoring position, it would be the Cajun connection. And it was pretty apparent right there. Dave Bush just did not want to give in to Mike Fontenot. Went ahead and put him on first base, set up a potential inning-ending double play with Coy Hill at the plate.
I just hope you catch it before it hits you.
Some of the older ballparks used to have promotions like that. If you hit a ball through a hole in the sign, you win a free suit, or you win a car, or some lucky fan won some money or something like that. That's kind of gone by the wayside.
That curveball a lot lately from Bush, and he has thrown it for strikes. Right as that pitch was being delivered, Escobar from his shortstop position was breaking behind Bobby Scales. Now, when that happens, Bob, usually there's a throw or a fake. Was he freelancing there, thinking that Scales was too far off the bag, thought he'd sneak in?
Yeah, but the problem is if a pitcher sees that and you don't make a pickoff attempt at second base, you're supposed to just step off the rubber to allow your defense to get back into position. But that time Bush went ahead and delivered the ball. Big hole on the left side of the infield for the Brewers that time. The shortstop or second baseman may feel they have a chance to sneak in behind that runner, but if the pitcher isn't alert to it, you'll end up getting your own defense out of position if you don't just step off the rubber, give them a chance to get back into position, and then start over again.
Somewhat related, did you carry chapstick in your back pocket like Bobby Scales apparently does?
No.
That is foul. Nice catch. Chris Smith made the catch.
Now, Aaron Heilman is in the on-deck circle in the 9th spot in the Cubs order, but I don't think we're fooling anybody. Ramos Ramirez standing right there with a helmet and a bat, batting gloves on, ready to go.
Swing and a miss. Pulled the string, got Hill, 2 outs. And it will be Ramirez.
Good change up that time from Bush.
Maka's going to make a change. Todd Coffey He pitched the 9th last night. Was going to come in the 6th today. 5-4 Milwaukee. Todd Coffey, appropriately named, not the decaffeinated kind. He sprints into the bullpen.
Yeah, a lot shorter sprint in from the bullpen here at Wrigley Field than some of the ballparks that the Brewers and Cubs play in over the course of the summer.
Shoes tied, and he's ready to go. By the way, Milton Bradley had to leave the game due to left knee inflammation. They do the YMCA out in the bleachers. Ramirez batting, 2 on, 2 down.
Pretty easy switch for Ken Maka when you look at the numbers for Dave Bush against Aramis Ramirez in their career. Rami 8 for 29 with 3 doubles and 3 home runs. Against Todd Coffey, however, Aramis is only 1 for 12.
Perfect 9th inning in a non-save spot Wednesday night. Here we go. Slider low and away. Down Main Street on a fastball, 1-1. Pretty light schedule in the National League. This is one of 4 games. The other 3 are tonight. Phillies are hosting the Nationals. The Braves entertaining the Mets, and Florida's in Cincinnati. The Rockies and the Cardinals, 2 teams the Cubs are shooting for, are off. Giants are 3.5 behind the Rockies. In a wild card race, Florida 4.5, Atlanta 5, the Cubs 6.5. Pitcher's strike, that's huge. Instead of 3-1, it's 2-2.
That's still a good take by Aramis Ramirez. That's one of those pitches I talk about all the time. It may be a strike, but nothing good can come of putting that ball in play right there. That's a ground ball toward one of the middle infielders. Make him throw you one more pitch. Hope he makes a mistake. But it's pretty clear that Todd Coffey does not want to give in to Aramis Ramirez and throw him anything from the middle of the plate in. Everything's been away, away, away.
Fans are getting on their feet. Runners will go with the pitch. Here it is. Little dribbler to third, but it's fouled. Coffey wants a new baseball. By the way, the reasons he runs to the mound is to get his legs loose, and he's just kind of ready to go and get after it. That's just his thing. Once he gets to the mound, he's trying to calm down and get outs. And the pressure spot here against one of the best RBI men in the game today, Aramis Ramirez. Coming off the bench and pinch hitting here in the 6th. A second 3-2 pitch, hit foul. It's lined past the Brewer dugout. Don't know if Lou is thinking about keeping Ramirez in the game, or if he'll just let him pinch hit and then take him out. But with Bradley out of the game, Cubs need a right fielder. Bobby Scales could stay in. You could maybe move Jeff Baker out to right and put Ramirez at third. There's some options. Fly ball the other way. Garrett, though, plenty of room, and that's it. So Coffey gets Ramirez. Cubs leave 2, and they trail 5-4.
Hold their breath, and sometimes you think they might win, and it scares you half to death. And when the Cubs go marching in, when the Cubs go marching in, oh, I wanna be in the bleachers when the Cubs go marching. And here's to William Beck and his Southside Club arena. I must tell you,
That's today's Bud Light Fan Cam with just the right taste that never fills you up. The difference is drinkability. Steve Goodman passed away 25 years ago this Sunday. Saying a lot about the Cubs, including "Go Cubs Go." As Terrio throws out pinch hitter Corey Hart, who was batting for Jody Garrett, and will likely stay in and play right. Bobby Scales stays in to play right after running for the injured Milton Bradley, who has left knee inflammation. Five-time Emmy Award-winning comedian and a radio talk show host, Dennis Miller, coming up with our seventh inning stretch. I'm sure he's honored to be here on this very special day. Andres Blanco and I believe Giovanni Soto in the dugout. Bullpen's been excellent. Marshall Heilman and now Tom Gorzolani trying to keep the Brewers right at 5. Pushed Braun off the plate. Looked to be pretty close to the corner, but Tom did not get the call. Well, two lefties who came over from the Pirates in that deal involving Kevin Hart. All 4. He's pitching in back-to-back games. 2 scoreless last night. A shift against Fielder far to the pull side. Had some big hitters this week. Dennis Miller. Guess we saved the best for last.
Yeah, hitting cleanup.
Low and away. A slider.
A little bit of inning management here possibly for Tom Gorzolani. We saw him pitch around Ryan Braun. Braun, a .471 lifetime hitter with 3 bombs against Tom Gorzolani. Prince Fielder, on the other hand, a .261 hitter with 5 strikeouts. So I'm not saying he completely pitched around Ryan Braun, but certainly he was going to pitch him carefully and take his chances with the left-handed hitting Fielder because he's had more success over the course of his career against Fielder than Braun.
The kick and the pitch struck him out. 2 down. Brings up Mike Cameron.
Just rushed a fastball right past him on the outer third of the plate right there. Nice job.
Cameron hit a sac fly in the first. Lined out to short in the third. Grounded out to third in the fifth. Casey McGee has jumped into the on-deck circle. They overloaded their lineup with lefties today. And now with left-handers coming out of the Cubs bullpen, Ken Maka can use the righties. Some of the regulars like Corey Hart and Casey McGee. It's Carlos Villanueva up in the bullpen. Long look at Braun. He takes off for second as it's tapped foul by Cameron.
Now, Braun is a base stealing threat, 15 out of 20 on the season. However, only 3 of those have come against left-handed pitchers. Looked like he just took off on first movement by Tom Gorzolani that time. Would have stolen the base easily had it not been fouled out of play.
Two and two. On not running this time. Ground ball toward the hole and through. Past a diving Terrio. Here comes Casey McGee. And that'll bring out Lou Piniella as Smiley Caridad is ready. We'll be back 5-4 Milwaukee. You can't, as a starter, sometimes you get into a rhythm kind of incrementally, but not here. First and second against a really good hitter.
Yeah, Casey McGee's been good against both righties and lefties, hitting .304 on the season, .304 against righties, .304 against lefties.
First pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside. Caridad has good stuff. We talk a lot about starters in the first inning not showing your best fastball. Well, this is a spot where you do want to show your best fastball. It might be the first one you throw. Time called. A ball got out of the visitors' bullpen.
That might be a different situation if you came in out of that bullpen to start an inning with nobody on base. Maybe you can probe around the strike zone a little bit, find your best stuff, but when you come into a ball game with runners on base, you better bring your A stuff with you.
2-0 with Mike Rivera on deck. walk and a single in the inning, setting it up for the pinch hitter Casey McGee. Clock ticking, about 7 minutes and counting. And Dennis Miller's 7th inning stretch as he waits. We don't have the official record in terms of wait time, but we were guessing Tim Robbins had to be the better part of 25 minutes a couple of years ago. Kind of like the Rolling Stones, you just have to keep waiting. Haridad's trying to get to Dennis Miller here quickly. 3-1. The pitch and a good pass at it. 3-2. I think when Casey stops hearing McGehee or McGehee, he knows he's finally arrived. We had fun with him at spring training. It's Casey McGee, even though it doesn't look like that. And I think most observers are starting to get it right. Runners go, and he just got hit to load the bases.
Looked like it got him on that back forearm. Front side opened up, exposing that right arm.
And Dennis is going to take a little nap. You okay? We have a pillow in the back. Rivera with the bases loaded.
Couple of strikeouts in the game for Mike Rivera, including back in the 5th inning after the Prince Fielder leadoff triple. He was the strikeout to end that inning. Fielder still positioned down there at third base.
Foul tip. And strike one. With a wind blowing in, Jody Garrett hit a grand slam back in the 4th inning. That's why the Brewers have the lead. It's 5-4. Did a bad one, and Braun thought about it. Ball got by Hill. A tough angle for a runner. You can't really see how far the ball gets away, and it didn't get too far away from Coy.
But that was one of those plays. Coy Hill could have decoyed Ryan Braun. If he would have taken 2 or 3 steps toward the backstop as if that ball got completely away from him, Braun probably gets out there in no man's land.
Base hit left field. They're going to get a couple. Braun, Cameron, and McGee stops at third. That's a 2-run double by their backup catcher, Mike Rivera. You think about Braun and Fielder and Cameron doing damage today. Jody Garrett and Mike Rivera have done most of it. It's 7-4.
Looked like a breaking ball that stayed right in the middle of the plate for Mike Rivera. He will chase bad breaking pitches. He'll chase high fastballs. That time, Caridad made the one pitch that Rivera could get the barrel of the bat on and line into left field for a double.
And 2 more in scoring position for Alcides Escobar. He's 0 for 2 with a walk and a run. Ball 1. Those runs now charged to Gorzolani, who started the inning.
I talked about coming in out of that bullpen with your A stuff, Len. Esmailin Caridad has inherited 4 runners this year. All 4 have scored. Those are the kind of things that a pitching coach and a manager look at when you're putting together a bullpen. Who do you bring into situations with runners in scoring position? Who's better served coming in to start an inning fresh with nobody on base?
A visit from the pitching coach as there'll be some more action. John Grabo just took his jacket off in the Cubs bullpen. Dennis Miller is screaming, "Leave him in." Hey, no worries, Dennis. We're all friends here. You can get into the game. That's no problem. This is Cubs baseball. Fouled away, 2-1. The ball. I don't think we had a shot of it, but there's a fan. He had a beverage in both hands, and he chest blocked the foul ball, and he kept his beers intact. He's gonna maybe have another shot. Ball landed near him. That guy right there.
I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, and he got the ball. He had a beer in each hand. He just kind of maneuvered to get the body right in front of the ball, hit him in the chest. That's beautiful.
Former catcher there.
Yeah. Nice save. That had disaster written all over it. No spillage. Bounce back, Tikaridad. Dennis, you ready? Here we go.
Today's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game is actor and comedian Dennis Miller.
All right, fans, let me hear you out there. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Sorry about that crap first pitch.
We've used that one a few
Your old
times.
DJ there.
Yeah. Dennis Miller in the booth with us.
Nice to be here, boys. Thanks for having me.
Craig Counsell in the game to play third as well. You apologized for your first pitch, but unfortunately, or fortunately, I think unfortunately for you, we were recording.
I know. You should show it. I should have to take some stuff for that. You know what? I gagged it. The first time I was here, I painted the black a little. I came in this time. I was trying to throw my knuckle curve like Bert Hooton, and I plunked it.
Well, we will get a look at it here in a moment.
It was really bad. You know, I had those 50 Congressional Medal of Honor guys on the field. I've never felt like less of a man.
Yeah, that what a day.
Jeez, that was beautiful.
What a day. We'll get into that in a second as well. Just a 2-1 pitch to Terrio and a 1 bouncer to the fielder. Well, let's get that first pitch.
What is Prince is picking it? Oh, here we go.
Forget about Prince. Let's talk about you.
Oh, man. That was ugly. I'm sorry, folks.
Get a mulligan.
Yeah, but I think I also chipped this one in there. Thank God the kid scooped it like Don Clendenin. Nice. Beautiful. He dug it out. Hey, what about those Congressional Medal of Honor winners, man? You know, we're lucky enough to be here at the national pastime. I'm sorry. Set your thing up here, babe. I learned from Monday Night Football. Albino would be saying, "Shut up. Let me set the stage here."
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Who we
You
got
just
up?
keep going. Kosuke Fukudome is at the plate.
I knew more about him before you told me his name. What was that name?
Kosuke Fukudome. Harry would have had a little trouble with that one. Yeah.
Harry, they would have had to hold his tongue down with a popsicle stick after he tried to say that. But let's talking about those 50 guys, Congressional Medal of Honor winners. We're privy to the national pastime. Those guys provide it to us, man. They provide us everything we have here.
You're absolutely right. It's pulled down the line. It's going to be foul.
And, you know, those guys come up to you. I don't know. You always meet the men who have the greatest achievements. They're the most humble, aren't they? Geez, they're almost sheepish coming up to me going, "Hey, Dennis, I admire you." And I go, you know, you just want to cry. You want to go, "Man, I thank you for giving me my life, brother." I mean, it's the humility there just is it's
awe-inspiring.
Inspiring, yeah.
It really is. 0-2 on Kosuke. All right, let's get another look at your first pitch. This is what this is how it's gonna go down in the vault. Ready?
Beautiful.
Good
You
stuff.
painted.
I took a little off it.
Yeah.
Listen, you don't have to have the big heater. As long as there's 10 miles an hour difference between the heater and the change, you're good, baby.
There you go.
Well, backdoor slider.
Jamie Moyer, he's going to go till he's 70.
Just locked up Frank Catalanato right there. I swear. What a pitch.
I love guys like Moyer and Maddox who understand the smarts of it as they get older. You know, field the position, vary the pace. You don't have to bring you don't have to bring the Nolan Express, but you do have to have a suitable amount of difference between your 3 pitch and your 1 pitch. It's beautiful.
Why throw 3 pitches to get a guy out if I could throw 1, get him to hit a ground
I
ball?
love guys painting the black like that.
Well, and it also allows you to pitch into your mid-40s because that fastball will go away unless you're Nolan Ryan.
Yeah, Noli was an anomaly. And I think that little Billy Wagner kid still clips it up there in the mid to high 90s, doesn't he?
Yes,
Am I
he
mistaken?
does. Can you hang for a couple more minutes?
Yeah, I'd love
You've
to,
already
guys.
been with us for an hour. You might as well stay for 2 more. Jason Bourgeois pinch hitting as John Grabo takes over here in the 8th.
Bourgeois, ironically, with a rather proletariat approach to the game.
I would agree.
Heads roll.
I had a feeling you might have a good line on that one. Kind of reminds me of your Monday Night Football days.
I remember Al used to hit his cough button periodically and just look at me and go, "What in God's name are you talking about?" Hey, by the way, who's the trainer for the Cubbies?
Mark O'Neill.
Why did Mark O'Neill give Richard Dreyfuss the key to the med cabinet last night?
That's a good question.
What happened there, Cub?
Oh, boy. We don't know.
Man.
Well,
he came out of that worse than the shark.
He played. The irony is, in What About Bob? Bill Murray played the patient, and Dreyfuss played the doctor. As Scales makes a catch.
Do we have any Dreyfuss?
Here it is. Sorry to interrupt. Okay.
Jesus, he got old on. When did he turn into Jimmy Reese? Didn't recognize him without his fungo
Got his fungo bat back in the corner, yeah.
Jimmy, Babe's last roommate. How many hot dogs and dames was he lugging up to the room?
He asked Jimmy Reese, he said, "I roomed with Babe's luggage."
He hit a sweet fungo, though, didn't he?
Yes, he
hit
did.
a sweet fungo.
Dennis, keep this up, and you may be the third man in the booth on occasion. Hey, by the way, before we let you go, John Lovitz, one of our favorite guests, he was up here a couple weeks ago. He took over the play-by-play. He was awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
I
He made up a word, the flowl ball. It was a fly and a foul, and he called it a flowl.
That sounds like his pathological liar character on Saturday Night Live.
Then he goes over to the other TV booth. The Mets were here. And it's right next door to us. And he taps on the glass and he looks over and he goes, "Bleh." It was great.
Yeah. I remember I flew in for our first audition for SNL with Lovitz. I flew across country with him. I remember I got off the flight in New York thinking, this lunatic has no chance. Next thing I know, he's the biggest star on the show. But, you know, he grew on me over the years. When I first met him, I didn't know what to make of him. He's got a quirky, kid-like sense of humor. But somewhere in there, there's an odd, weird genius.
He had his iPhone with him. He was talking until the moment he sang the song. And he said, hang on just a second. Sets the phone down after the song. He goes, you still there? It was great.
These are the lengths John Lovitz has to go to close a woman.
Hey, Dennis, thanks for the time. That's going to be the last one. Medal of Honor recipients paid tribute to them before the game. Chatted with one of them, a Chicago native, Al Lynch, during the game, and had some fun with Dennis Miller as well. Check out his radio show if you can. Mario Vargas now pitching. To Jake Fox, who takes strike one. Getting late, down 3 with only 6 outs to go for the Cubs. This will be a disappointing finish to this series. It'll be a winning homestand. But they started the homestand 4-1 and had won the first 2 games of this set. Talking to Dennis Bob off the air about his stint on Monday Night Football. The thing I appreciated about it was that he remained himself, remained true to himself. Didn't try to do the X's and O's. And everybody's cup of tea, but I enjoyed it. Cameron makes a grab. He knows his baseball too. He's dropping some good names.
He was. Had to get out the dictionary a few times on his stint on Monday Night Football, but nothing wrong with that, you know. Vocabulary lesson.
And he watched last night. We appreciate that.
Baffled as the rest of us.
Ball 1 to Bobby Scales, who gets his first at bat after he came on to pinch run for Bradley in the 6th. Vargas with a 1-0. Strike 1-1. We've seen Bush, Coffey, Villanueva, and now Vargas. At the knees, strike 2. Got him, called strike 3 for the 2nd out. Hey, we are email accessible. Len and Bob at chicagonow.com. You can also tweet us at twitter.com/Len and Bob. Jeff Baker with home plate in the shade and the pitcher's mound still in the sun. Start to get some interesting shadows here. We get into the latter part of the season, mid to late September. Good effort by that fan, couldn't get it. The 0-2 pitch, golfed into left center. Cameron cruising. That's it. Cubs draw a blank in the 8th. Come on, Mike. 7-4 Milwaukee. Of the game, the 60 or so Medal of Honor recipients who were honored in a special ceremony prior to today's game. Over 3,400 individuals have been awarded the Medal of Honor today. More than half of the living Medal of Honor recipients. Got a great hand and an inspirational afternoon here at Wrigley Field. Once again, our AM/PM players of the game. Too much good stuff. Ryan Braun grounds up the middle. Ryan Theriot got him on the spinning play to get the out. Going to see that one a few more times.
Chopper back up the middle of the field. Long run for Theriot. Good body control to spin around. Great stretch by Derek Lee to the outfield side of the bag just in time to get Braun.
That helps out Justin Berg, who is on the pitch. Pitcher number 7 for the Cubs. Prince Fielder bounces to Jeff Baker, the third baseman, basically playing short, high throw, and Lee came down on the bag in time.
You know, Len, with all due respect to AM/PM, I think today we had just the right amount of good stuff here at the ballpark.
Well, the rookie Berg will face Mike Cameron after getting a couple of quick outs. I think Trevor Hoffman is now just up on the mound. He was playing catch on flat ground, and that's why Mike Cameron's taking a lot of time, and he may take a few pitches. As the closer gets ready for the bottom of the 9th. Justin Berg could have thrown one in the perfect spot for Cameron to hit a home run, and he was not going to swing. All-time saves leader, 586 in his career.
Talked about it before, Len. In my days as a bullpen coach with the San Francisco Giants, we had situations like this where you got a reliever up and he didn't really have enough time to get ready to come into the ball game. And at old Candlestick Park, the bullpens were very similar to the ones here at Wrigley. They were inside the playing field. Just throw a ball out onto the field once in a while.
That's it for the inning as he strikes out. So Berg goes 1, 2, 3 quickly, and we'll go to the bottom of the ninth. The Cubs trail by 3. Assume Hoffman in the 9 spot. No other changes. They could have brought the pitcher back out to warm up, I guess. 7 for Milwaukee. Trevor Hoffman now on the big mound, getting ready for the bottom of the ninth. First appearance and only appearance of this series. And I guess, Bob, if he weren't really ready, needed a few more tosses in the bullpen, they could have brought Vargas back out to warm up, and then when Hoffman was ready, and Maka could have called for him, but I guess he said he was fine.
7-time All-Star, all-time saves leader, most 20 save seasons, most 30 save seasons, and most 40 save seasons in Major League Baseball history.
First pitch strike, that's a fastball at 84, and Mike Fontenot. She's thinking positive thoughts here for the Cubs. Visioning a big comeback. 978 appearances now for Hoffman with his 3rd major league team. His first 2 career saves were with Florida. Over 500 with San Diego, and now 32 with Milwaukee. He'd like to come back next year. He shunned an option for next season when he signed with the Brewers, just to see how it goes, being away from his family for the first time in a long time. But he's been comfortable, so he'd like to come back in 2010. Forget the 1-loss record. Not really a factor for a closer. Excellent ERA and more saves than anybody.
$18 straight scoreless innings to start this season.
The former all-time saves leader, Lee Smith, was here this past weekend. Trevor Hoffman broke his record. Hoffman, if he does come back next year, would be poised to pick up his 600th save. 3-2 to Fontenot. Called strike 3 on a fastball.
Very similar to the pitch before that was called a ball. Yeah, borderline at best, that up and away corner of the strike zone. Rondo was ready to toss the bat away and head on down to first base.
Hoffman is 64 saves ahead of Mariano Rivera. Lee Smith now in third with 478. Rivera with 522. Aaron Miles on deck in the pitcher's spot. That guy got hit by that foul ball. Brewer fan. I don't know if he's looking for his tooth or the ball. Cameron and Braun. It's going to be Braun for the second out. It's up to Aaron Miles to keep the Cubs alive as they face a future Hall of Famer. He's still probably in better shape than everybody younger than he is in baseball. I think he and Steve Finley, when he was playing, probably the fittest athletes around.
Right, it's tough to keep up with Trevor Hoffman even at this stage of his career. It used to be kind of a standing joke when he was a member of the Padres and a young pitcher would get called up from AAA. Make him go work out with Trevor Hoffman.
This will do it. Cameron makes a catch. And the Brewers earn a split as Trevor Hoffman goes 1-2-3 in the ninth to get his 587th career save. So the Brewers beat the Cubs 7-4. And what an inspirational day. The Medal of Honor winners being lauded here at Wrigley Field. We'll be back in a moment.